Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today I'm in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, visiting Sparks Toyota. And today I'm checking out a 2018 Toyota RAV4 in the XLE trim level. Now this one is in the electric storm blue, which is one of my favorite colors on this particular vehicle. So let's go ahead and check it out. This RAV4 is sitting on 225/65 Yokohama tires wrapped around 17-inch alloy wheels and a two-tone. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated disc rotors in the front and solid disc rotors in the back. The name of this color is Electric Storm Blue, and one of my favorite colors on this particular vehicle. Okay, so checking out the front. So it has the gloss black here in the center portion, right in here. Right in there, gloss black surrounding the emblem, and Toyota has a radar system behind that emblem. So hidden behind there is a little radar. You notice the emblem's kind of more at a, it's not contoured exactly with the vehicle, it's more straightforward, so that way the radar system works more effectively. But the sensors is right behind there, it's mounted directly behind the emblem, which is a pretty neat place to put it. Keeps the emblem prominent, but also, you know, has a hiding place for the radar. Okay, so down here that you have the matte black, and then the grille right in there is all matte black. Fog lights are in a reflector halogen, and the headlights are in a projector. So it's a projector halogen powered headlights surrounded by this chrome bezel right here, and then you have a strip of LED there at the top for your daytime running lights. But the high and low beams are out of the same projector tube. This is what the key looks like. It's a proximity key system designed to keep in your pocket and use the vehicle 100%. Now it does have some useful buttons, has the ability to lock and unlock the doors, to open up the power liftgate, and a panic button here, and there's a physical key on the inside in case you need that. But as long as you have the key with you, you can walk up to the car. Now the key can be in your pocket, it can be in a bag, whatever. You walk up to lock the doors, place your finger over the little sensors right here where these lines are. Place your finger over that sensor, it senses the key within a close proximity of the door, and it senses your finger position and locks the doors. To unlock it, you simply put your hand behind the handle. It senses the key, like I mentioned, within a close proximity of the outside of the door, and allows you access to the vehicle. If you have the doors locked and you're inside with the key, people cannot open the door. Some people ask that question. I just want to clarify that. The key has to be outside the door for that to work. Okay, so here's the inside of the passenger side door. Now it's all soft to the touch from here all the way down. It's like a vinyl material right in here, and then up here is kind of like a synthetic foam, kind of Nerf type material, very soft and comfortable. The rest of the door is the hard plastics down here where it's nice and durable. Then you have a kind of a smoked chrome metallic accent here, and then the controls are kind of slanted, so that way you can kind of look at them and reach them a little bit easier. And then you have a bottle holder which also extends here in the front, so it's a little bit easier to just, you know, place your cell phone or something like that in there and just kind of reach it from a sitting position. There's your threshold. Just basically has a hard plastic sill plate and manually adjusted seat that are cloth. It's like a microfiber cloth here on the ends with the contrast stitching, and then here on the center portion is a little bit different material. It's more of a plush material there, and then smoother cloth here on the ends. Nice bolstering here on the sides that are not too intrusive, but they are very comfortable. Now another thing that adds to the comfort in this particular vehicle is the height of the seat. So you'll notice the seat has a pretty good height off the floor, so that way your knees aren't sticking up in the air if you're tall so much. It just kind of gives you that sitting in a chair feel. And check out the legroom. There's a little bit of tapering here, but not too bad. I mean, it's wide open just about. Okay, looking at the dash, so it has that same hard plastic here for the dashboard, and then you have the metallic accent there, the smoked chrome. And check it out, this little storage cubby right in here with a rubberized portion at the very bottom. And then you have this kind of vinyl material here, soft to the touch dash. All right, looking at the glove compartment, kind of easily goes down easy, and it's all smooth plastic. So that way you can put stuff in there. It's easy to scoop things out and clean out, but it's pretty traditional as far as a glove box goes. Now all the rear glass is privacy glass. The front glass has been tinted by the dealer, so that does not come from the factory with tint on the front glass. But all this back here is a privacy glass and keeps people from looking in, also keeps the sun from shining on you. So let's take a look here in the back portion. And actually it's not hard to see out of the privacy glass. It actually helps out with reducing the glare and everything, so it's pretty good. Okay, so here's the inside of the back door. Soft to the touch vinyl material here, all the way up here. This part though is the hard plastic, and unlike the front door, all hard plastics, but it basically is a very similar design as the front. It does have the bottle holder, but not the extension there on the front. And check it out, the floorboard is way down there, so it's easy to get your legs in, and plenty of leg room, even with the front seat all the way back. Still really good, and especially considering there's no hump in the center. I mean, there's a little tiny one, but nothing really at all. I mean, it's almost like no hump. There is some pockets on the back of the front seats here. Latch system for the car seats, also called ISOFIX, so that you can secure those. So the seats back here are a 60-40 split. It's basically a bench seat all the way across, but you can fold them down and you can recline them. So this one in particular is reclined to show you the maximum amount of articulation in the seats. And then you have this one is more of a vertical position, so this would be a really more upright position, and you can go anywhere from here to there, so you can kind of adjust it the way you want. Then you have these cup holders with a armrest. You can move those up out of the way if you want for a center passenger. And there's also a 12-volt power supply hidden right down here, so that way you can charge a device or whatever. You also have the ability to, when you fold the seats, you would typically take the headrest and fold them down like so. But when the seats are more an upright position, if you need a little bit more visibility, you can fold them down, which might add a little bit to the visibility. And folding the seat down, let's go ahead and do that now because it's really easy. Fold that down, and then you just lift up on this. Starts to go down, you push it down. Now you notice that it actually goes, the whole seat goes down to the floor, giving you almost a flat floor with the cargo space. So it completely just pushes it down all the way, so there's no wasted space underneath the seat. And you notice it's kind of more level with the other seat when it actually goes down, including the back. Okay, so let's take a look at the back of the vehicle. At the very top you have the roof rails right there, and a little antenna for your radio system, little shark fin antenna that is matching the same color of the vehicle. And then you have the spoiler across the back with your third brake light with LED lights in it. Has the windshield wiper in the back, of course. And the backup camera is almost in the center position. So the actual camera is right here. The button to open up the trunk is in the center position. I guess that's why they had to move it off to the side. But it's right about there. Has a single exhaust here on the right side. So right in there. The taillights are a combination of standard and LED bulbs with the side markers for your turn signals and the side mirrors. Okay, so opening up the power liftgate, we can of course use the key, or we can simply push this button under here. There we go. It's gonna beep one time and raise up for you. All right. So here's your cargo space. So when you have all the seats occupied, you can have, you know, like say if all these seats were up, from here back would all be your cargo space, which is pretty fantastic. It's hard to imagine when looking on the outside how much space is actually in this vehicle and how versatile it is. Okay, so you have little tie downs here on the side, interior lights. You also have a place for a shade to go. And then you have these little hook, like a bag holder here on the sides, as well as a place to put like a net pocket. All right, so this mat is reversible. So it has a rubber portion on one side, cloth on the other, and you can actually fold it up like so, lift this up, and this will reveal your spare tire and tools. And it actually has a little space here for your shade. This particular vehicle doesn't have a shade, but if it did, you can put it in place, or you can store it back here, right above the spare tire. It goes all the way across there. To lower the power lift gate, you can of course use the key, or there's a button conveniently located right here. So you can push that button and it will kind of beep at you and come right on down. Now you can set the height, the maximum height of this power lift gate, just in case you have a low ceiling in your garage or whatever the case may be. You can adjust that height in the settings in the vehicle. The fuel door is locking, and it's here on the driver's side, so it's easy to get to. And you notice how the door swings out quite wide, and it has a pretty traditional cap with a little tether right here and a place to put your cap while you're pumping gas. To start it up, all you need is the key inside the vehicle. It can be in your bag, in a pocket, whatever, or here in the cup holder. Put your foot on the brake and hold it and push this button. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. You can see the floor mat hooks in place, and these little hooks right here. 2 places, so that way it keeps it straight and from sliding forward on you. Here's your accelerator and brake pedal and the foot actuated parking brake. So let's go ahead and take a look under the hood. Okay, to open the hood, there's a little latch a little bit to the right of center right in here, and you move it to the left and you lift it up. Now it does require a prop to hold the hood up, and the prop's right here. And there's actually 2 places to put the prop. There's this one place which has a plug, and then this other place. Now the reason for this is to have the hood in a higher position. This is the highest position that you can put it. You know, you notice it's really up there, so you will have to be quite tall and willing to lift it up that high and have a need to. But this really gives you a clear view and access to the engine compartment when you have that high position. This other plug you could take out and put back in and put it in the other place, whichever one you want to use. But I like the fact that they do have those 2 positions. Okay, so here's your engine compartment, and you notice the back wall is all insulated across the back for sound and also heat transfer, keeping the heat from entering the vehicle as much as possible. You also have braces here on the strut towers. Here's your battery that's all insulated, and you have the seal around the sides and the back, most likely for heat transfer, but also noise dampening for the occupants in the vehicle. Okay, so you notice that the engine is actually not covered up with this huge plastic cover. You can actually see it. There's a small cover there, but man, is it nice to actually see some metal when you lift the hood. Some vehicles are just covered up completely with plastic. So this is a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine with you can see the exhaust coming out of the front and the intake there in the back. And it gets 176 horsepower and is paired to a 6-speed automatic transmission. Okay, so here's the inside of the driver's side door. Now it's just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons here. Power windows, door locks, and the automatic power window is here for the driver, so they're special. 1 touch down, 1 touch up, and you can see that the windows have been tinted. It goes up and down quite fast. Okay, so manually adjusted seat here for the driver as well, but the driver also has a height adjuster right here, so that way you can, you know, raise and lower the height of the seat. That's always have to have a little bit more options for the driver typically. Okay, so right in here, your side mirrors are adjusted with this little pad. You just pick a side, left or right, and you adjust it with there. And then here's your dimmer switch for your interior gauges, and then your lane departure alert system you could turn on and off. And then here is the ability to open up your power liftgate by sitting right here in this chair, raising or closing it. Steering column is tilt and telescoping, so once you unlock it, you can raise it, lower it, adjust it the way you want, and lock it back in place. Okay, sitting in the driver's seat, let's check it out. Looking nice. So I have my seat adjusted, and it's all the way back, just to kind of give you an idea of the possible legroom here. I'm 6 feet tall, and it's probably a little bit further back than what would be comfortable to drive, but I can touch the pedals here. There's the knee room. Okay, so another thing I want to mention about these doors, they have this rubberized grip here on the back side, which is very comfortable and a nice little touch to have when you're closing the doors. And it's a nice, big, strong handle right there. So I thought that was pretty neat. Okay, leather wrap steering wheel. So it's a soft to the touch, and thickness is about right as far as my hands anyway. But have these little bolsters here at the very top. Seems a little thinner here at the very center portion up top, but could be just my imagination. Okay, so it has this this plastic, kind of has a simulated leather texturing here, but you notice that the leather on the ends, the actual real leather, is there's no texturing. It's a smooth leather, and it's not like super slick or anything. It's not like slippery or anything, but it does have a grip. It just doesn't have that traditional leather texturing like this synthetic materials here. All right, so your cruise control is down here, kind of hidden, but you can turn it on and off by pushing that button. You can set it, resume, pull it in to cancel. Now, the adaptive cruise control button is right here. So once this is turned on, you can set the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you using the radar adaptive cruise control. And using this button, you'll get an indicator here on the screen how far away you want to be from the vehicle in front of you. I don't think these are exactly car lengths, but they're just kind of visual representation of distance between you and the vehicle. All right, so here on the left side is your volume for your radio, your change to your audio tracks or your presets on your radio here, and then your phone buttons for answering and hanging up on calls there. Mode is your different audio sources, and your voice recognition button is here. These buttons, this is for your trip, but these buttons correspond with that screen between the gauges, which I'll show you in just a minute. Your wipers for your front and rear windshield wipers are here on the right side. Your turn signal is here on the left. It also has your headlight controls, so you can turn your daytime running lights off. You have automatic, parking light, and then your headlights on. And then your fog lights are controlled here. Okay, so here's your gauges. Check out that nice blue in the background. Looks pretty cool. Okay, so here on the left is your RPMs, engine coolant temperature there at the bottom of that gauge. And on the right side is your speedometer with a fuel gauge, and the little pump there has an arrow pointing to the side in which the fuel door is on, which is cool. Okay, so here in the center is this information screen. So right now it's showing the outside temperature, odometer. It shows your blind spot monitor system is activated, and basically a blank screen there in the center. Now your blind spot monitor system, the indicators are here on the side mirrors, right there. You can see it looks like a little car next to another car with lines between it. That's your blind spot monitor system. That's also your rear cross traffic alert system. So if you're backing out of a parking spot, that will illuminate. There's one on each side. It'll illuminate if there's a car coming if you're backing out of a parking space. But there's one on one side, on both sides. There's one on each side mirror to indicate which direction the vehicle's coming or which side the blind spot is occupied on. Okay, so using these buttons right here, I'm going to navigate through this little screen. So just scrolling down, as I scroll down, you'll see this whole menu system pops up there at the top, those icons. So the blank screen is here, and then it goes down to your average miles per gallon, average miles per hour, and then a timer. And then here's your fuel economy, and then distance to empty, and then your average miles per gallon. Eco indicator, this is as you're driving, it'll let you know basically how you're doing as far as if you're using too much gas or whatever. And basically, if you really want to sip gas, you can look at this monitor and make sure you're staying in that eco zone right there. Scrolling down, this is way the vehicle will actually, you know, monitor the way you drive and kind of let you know if it kind of will give you a warning, say, hey, maybe it's time to, you know, take a break. Depending on your habits of driving, if you're kind of swerving around or whatever, it might pop up and just kind of give you a sway. That's what the sway warning is all about. All right, scrolling to the right, you notice we'll go to that next icon there. So the little icon's there at the top. Now we're just whatever the radio is doing here, and we can scroll up and down and change radio stations. Scrolling to the right, this is your adaptive cruise control, what's going on with that. As well as your lane departure warnings. There's little lines right there. They're on the right and left. We can push the lane departure warning button and turn those off. So lane departure alert is turned on, steering assist active. So when this is turned on, it will not only alert you if you swerve out of your lane, but it also helps steer the steering wheel back in the center of the lane temporarily. Now, if you have your turn signal on, of course, it's not going to do that, but if you just happen to be swerving out of your lane, it's going to help you out with that. It's pretty interesting. All right, scrolling to the right, this is stored messages, and then one more time to the right shows your settings. So lane departure alert, pre-collision warning system, you can go in there and set that. So this is part of the adaptive cruise control, and it'll let you know if you're going to, you know, collide with something. It's going to give you a warning. Blind spot monitor, and then your power liftgate there. And then it goes back to your original screen here, your original icon. So that's kind of a quick rundown of that screen using these buttons and then the little back button there to navigate through. Some vents there at the very top. Four-way flashers, and then a little information screen right in here. Okay, so here's your touch screen. Now it has a CD player, volume for your radio, turning through the stations, traditional, that's pretty traditional there. And then you have physical buttons on the outside, just a kind of quick way of getting in different places. So you can go straight to the audio, you can go straight to your apps, or you can go straight to home. So the home screen will have a split between your radio or whatever your audio is doing and your phone. So let's look at the audio. So you have your presets here on the left side, just kind of showing you what's going on. You can also adjust your sound. You can adjust your source, AM, FM, CD player, USB, Bluetooth audio, satellite radio, XM, and then the auxiliary input. Some of these are blacked out because there's nothing available to play. Next is your apps. So this is where you go straight to your audio. You can go to your phone and pair a phone, your eco screen, setup, traffic, and weather. So let's go to the eco screen. This will give your average speed, elapsed time, and your range, and then what's been going on in the last 15 minutes as far as how you've been driving. And you can, you know, kind of set records or whatever if you're really concerned about sipping gas. You go into setup and adjust all your different things here, and then we can actually see if we have HD signal. We can actually see the weather and traffic and stuff. All right. Okay, so down here is your cruise control. You have your temperature for your driver and your passenger. You can have automatics, or automatically chooses the fan speed and all that, depending on your preset temperature. And then you have this button is pretty interesting. It forces the cleanest air to your face. Basically, if you want some fresh air or whatever, let's say there's a blocks out the outside air and gives you fresh cabin air. So let's say there's a something smelly or whatever outside and you have the windows up, you can push that and it'll kind of block out the outside air temporarily. Now this will recirculate the air, but this right here really supposed to filter the air better using the cabin filter, supposedly. I'm not sure. When I push it, it doesn't really, just kind of maximizes your fan speed, and it blows right here and in these vents. So I guess it's a temporary thing. It won't last that long, like a minute or so. So there's your front and rear defrosters, your fan speed, and where you want the air to blow. Now you can sync both of these temperatures. Right now it's synced to where I can change the temperatures and it'll all be the same, or I can unsync them by pushing that button, or I can simply just turn this knob and it'll unsync them. Okay, so down here is a 12-volt power supply, USB and auxiliary inputs there, and then you have a sport and eco mode button. So sport would emphasize performance, eco would of course emphasize fuel economy. Little storage pocket there. Has like a rubber, really grippy rubber portion here in the center portion, so whatever you put there is not going to slide around too easy. And there's a cup holder. Another one back here. There's a parking brake, handbrake. It's kind of rubbery, grippy surface there. Okay, so let's look at the shifter. Let's put it in reverse. Backup camera pops up here with the active guideline. So as I turn the steering wheel, it's going to, you know, give me an estimated trajectory of the vehicle backing up. Also, now you notice that the camera is in a little bit offset, but you really can't notice here on this because it's such a wide angle view, so you can see from the bumper to the sky and all around. Has a really good visibility. Continuing down, that's neutral, there's drive, and then you have a standard mode here which you can change through the gears simply by bumping it up and down like a ratchet shifter, and you'll know what gear you're in because it'll show here on the screen. At any time, if you want to put it back in drive, even when you're driving, you can just put it back in drive and the vehicle will take over for you. Okay, so here's the armrest, and it's soft to the touch, not super soft. It is like a rubber material, synthetic rubber material, but it is soft to the touch. So this opens up, and there's two buttons here. The one on the left side opens up the small portion here. Just kind of give you a little storage space there. And the one on the right opens up the larger storage space. So this goes down in there, and there's actually a felt lining, like a pool table type felt at the bottom, but it's pretty good size. Okay, so the rearview mirror has a manual day and night mode. There's your place to put your shades, and it has a some kind of foam, not very soft either. It's kind of foam protective surface, but it's not super soft, but it does feel soft enough to protect your sunglasses or glasses or whatever. Tap lights for reading lights, and you can have all your interior lights on by turning it that way, all off going this way, and in the center position all the interior lights will turn on when the door is open. And then this is for your sunroof. We'll check that out in a second. The visor has a mirror and a little light that turns on when you open it up. It also has a little extra extension here on the side that extends out. Same thing on the passenger side as far as the visor goes. Okay, so check out the sunroof. Not much sun right this second because it started raining on me. But you notice the shade blocks 100% of the light. So if you don't want any light shining in, you can close the shade. But opening it up allows some light to shine through. So you can open it, you can tilt it with these buttons right here. So up, and then you have open. Of course it's raining, so I'm not going to open it up. But basically the back portion just lifts up, and allow some air to flow through, and then of course this slides back, allowing this whole open space, you know, open air top there. Okay, so let's look at the visibility in the back. Now I have one seat down, just to give you an idea of the difference there. So if you're driving with no passengers in the back, now if you have passengers there, of course their head's going to be in the way anyway, but if you want to fold the seat down to add to your visibility, you notice the headrest kind of lines up with the pillar back there, but still, it still could be an issue as far as the visibility. But other than that, it does have a pretty significant pillar in the far back, but lots of glass around it. Of course, you have the backup camera, blind spot monitor system, all that stuff to help you out. All right, there you have it, 2018 Toyota RAV4 at Sparks Toyota. Thank you for watching, and thank you to Sparks Toyota for allowing me to show off another awesome vehicle, and I'll see you guys next time.